Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to the Virgo channel. I was just getting all my cards together. I'm going to do a, a, a reading for my winner, but you may resonate with this. Know that energy is fluid. Hello, forever love. Thank you so much for being here today. If you have any questions, you can ask me right now before I jump in. All right, for all of you that don't know me, my name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message, obviously, for Virgo. Virgos are great. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed, so cross watchers are more than welcome to watch. I always find that the message goes to the person that really needs to hear the message. So if you feel like I'm really obsessive about what's going on, I'm really nervous about what's going on, then you're meant to hear this. It's just we get the energy. I can't talk today. It's like we're like a magnet of who and what is supposed to come into our life. We get what we need. So that's why I like to look at the shadows and I don't like to just look at what goes on the surface. Like some people are going to show us what they want to show us. They want to show us who they want us to perceive that they are, but that's not really who they are. And the thing is, we can get hurt by what a person does, right? What a person wants to show us. If they show us that they don't care, that can psychologically traumatize us because we're like, wait a minute, it's like I thought that we had something here. I thought that it was deep. You feel like home to me. I kind of feel like we were supposed to work out. You made me feel like it was going to work out. But now, why am I in this energy? Again, psychological trauma, emotional trauma is the trauma that no one talks about. And so these readings are all about healing the effects of psychological trauma so you can break the karmic contracts, your karmic loops. And those karmic loops are when we stay stuck in a karmic theme, where again, you date one person where they betray you, and now you feel like every single other relationship you have to be on guard, and then what happens? You can't trust the person. Did you make that happen, or was that supposed to happen? Meaning, or was that just something that happened, and why did that happen, and why do other people not have it happen? Well, again, if you have gone through experiences that are traumatizing and you don't integrate the spiritual lesson, well, then you will continue to relive the same karmic theme. So this is why it's imperative to heal your inner child wounds. So I always like to jump in, and when it comes on, I'm sure they'll let me know that they're on. Like I said, if you landed on this, you resonated with it, and take this a swig of water. I have a long history of kidney stones, so I have to force myself to drink water. It should be natural, right? Sabotaging behaviorism. What worked in childhood will always 99.9% be the behaviorism that you need to recondition in adulthood because it's stopping you from manifesting the life that you want to experience or the love that you want to experience. Remember that. No one wants to feel kidney stones. By the time that it actually manifests in the physical body, well, that means psychologically you've been walking around with that trauma for so long. I know my father had cancer 9 times. I know. I wrote a book about healing the effects of psychological trauma because I have had to do it. I've had to do it, and it's like a never-ending journey. So let's take a peek. Let's take a freak. Loneliness. The word that you're going to write in your comment bar is loneliness. See, I feel like you're connected, Virgo, to someone that feels very lonely because they've isolated themselves. And they've isolated themselves because they've had a lot of people stab them in the back, and I believe that they've stabbed people in the back. This person has experienced psychological trauma at first in their childhood, I feel like, and that has brought their trauma into every single relationship. So everything that they deal with, every person that they deal with, never it never works out for them. It never works out for them because they get in their own way. And the reason why is because they mistrust. Hey, let's see. I have a question about the one guy I'm dating and other one that has been in and out of my life at the 6 aspects. Well, I feel like, again, the one that you can't trust, the one that comes in and out of your life, I feel like the issue is you don't trust them, and the reason is that they don't trust themselves, and they don't trust themselves in relationships. So it's like, not that they don't have feelings for ever love, they do, they'll always have feelings for you. However, they're not capable, and they're not capable of giving the love. And I feel like they get in their own way. The depth, when you have a real soul connection with someone that has a lot of trauma because of the experiences that they've lived, not that has nothing to do with you, you will always be, they will always project, I feel like, and they will also try and protect themselves because they don't trust. So there's a sense of them being lonely. Now, that's the thing. Their shadows are that. It has nothing to do with you. However, being with them awakens something within inside of you. And that is the trauma, when we have to, like, oh, when we're with somebody that continually projects, it's like it's making you feel, again, that you're not deserving of love, that you can't have love, because they get close enough and then they can't do it. You can only go so close before they get triggered and they self-sabotage the relationship. But the issue is that they don't trust. So there's a sense that they don't really believe that they can have love. So it's a very that love will never die either. It's the most frustrating, because you're like, I really love this person. I know that they love me. I know that it could work out, it because of that love, but then it doesn't work out. And why doesn't it? And it makes me feel, and then it brings you back to a place of, and it makes me feel, well, feeling is the gateway to your shadow healing. Spirit saying, well, that's why this person is, again, came into your life. So until you actually integrate the spiritual lesson, you will continue to live that type of karmic theme, which will actually influence the relationship that you're in now. And not because it's a bad relationship either. It's because of, again, the non-integration. Now, were you following me? Explain. And if my winners come, please let me know. I feel like disrespect. Please let me know, like, if you're following that. And again, when my winner comes, please let me know. Now, like it said, you may land on this, you may resonate with this as well. Oh, you're the winner. Wait a second. It's been you that I've been corresponding back and forth with this whole time. See, like, you didn't Rose. Like, I don't know why it's like, I'm so happy that it's like, I'm calling you I know you as Forever Love. like that's your name. So it really is your energy that I'm tapped into. I know. I'm so glad, because let me tell you something. You've been following me for a long time, and I've called you the winner for like a million times, and it's like it never felt like you ever answered me. So I'm so happy that you did. I know it sounds crazy, but anyway, are you resonating right now with, again, your past relationship? Yeah, no, it was like all the time. I'm like, whenever you want a reading. Okay, good. Because I was like, whenever you want a reading, because I love you, because your energy, you've always been like a very positive force. And I feel like, again, that's the thing. You're a complete opposite of that person of 6 years ago, and that's what it is. All right. So, and so I just feel like, um, the person that you're with now, like it said that I feel like a lot of the past relationship is influencing this current relationship where you're like, I don't know if I can, this is my person. And I feel like I, it's not yes or no. And I hate to say that. And the reason why is because you don't know enough of you, that relationship that you were caught up in the last relationship, why that the energy is still there is because you need to integrate. This current one is a slow burn, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can see that, but partially that is because of you, where you're like, you need to show me a lot more than what you're showing me because I got hurt in the past. And so as long as you, like, again, like have that frame of mind, it's not, and you're like, well, I don't trust. And I went through again trauma, and spirit says me first. And that's through you first. And that's to become unconditional love. And that's by doing what you love. Too much. You are an overgiver. You overdo. You overlove. You over. It's you're a highly sensitive person. You can't help it. It's your nature. It's the way it's your people are that way. You overdo it. So what happens is that you unconsciously teach people that you don't have to do it. And so that's the thing. You're like, I don't really know how it's going to be. Well, you're both kind of waiting for the other person, and you both are mirroring each other. And that's because you both went through similar experiences. So there's a sense of, I do love you, but I'm afraid. Yes, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, girl. Girl, I know. That's why I know it's frustrating because it's like we're in a Mexican standstill. I'm waiting for him. He's waiting for me. And like, it's like, I feel like we're doing the cha cha, two steps forward to three steps back. It's frustrating because you're like, okay, how come you just can't do it? That's anxiety. I know that's what it feels like. You're in a Mexican standstill. Like it's like I'm gonna wait for you to like we're gonna do chicken, and it's like he already knows that you don't need anybody. He already knows that you're not gonna let anyone take advantage. He already knows that by how you live. So you don't need to drill it more, like let me drill it into your head more because it's like because of what happened. And that's why I'm saying where this person's like, okay, now I'm overstimulated and I don't really know what to do because too much thought, too much emotion, and they already have spiritual blocks when it comes to love. So you really have to be like, get to a place of surrender. And that's really unconditional love makes us do that. But it's not through you just giving yourself. And that's the thing. You're like, well, I don't know. I can't control this. Like, and that's where both of you are in, and spirit saying no, because that's been the karmic theme of not feeling safe, where your safety comes within yourself. See, training a person is through how much time you give a person. It's through how much time, energy, focus, and money you give a person. And so being that you're an overgiver, it's like you're teaching them not to give you. And so you're afraid that they're still not going to do that. And then you're watching what they're doing and they're not doing it. And so that's what the issue is. It's like you have to again become love, do what you love, and then yes, still give to this person, but you're not giving them the whole pizza. See, it's how much you give is how big the wound is. It's like if you abandon yourself, then what happens is you're essentially like gonna be left with in a bad relationship. And that's what yourself, forever rose, I'll call you, forever rose, listen to me, it's forever love. But that you'll that you won't abandon if you don't abandon yourself. Yeah, I would always abandon. That's the key. You cannot abandon yourself. See, in the Bible, it says, be like childlike for a reason, because children go out and they explore and they find themselves. So, what Spirit is saying is, you need to do that for yourself, love and find yourself, become yourself, and get your emotional fulfillment also from other aspects of life. When you do that, it doesn't matter what a person does. It doesn't matter what a person says. It doesn't matter because you're in your element. You're vibing high. You're you're attracting people and situations that do love, like that you will love. And so that inevitably is what teaches your person, because you're not telling them you need to do this. Intimacy issues, which is what transpires in your relationship, where it's trust. It starts off as trust, and then it affects the actual connection, because obviously, who wants to be with somebody that you can't trust? So it's like, well, I don't want to get hurt. So is the guy I'm dating, it's not, he is invested, but the thing is, he's not going to, if you're going to sit there and wait for him to do it. You have to do it at the same time that he does it. Because, like I said, you got hurt, and this person also got hurt. You're in the Mexican standstill, like you're waiting for each other to do it. It's like, it's that, and that's why. How do I know? Well, I feel like it's like you, when you're invested in yourself, right? It's like more, and you're giving yourself more. Then, if the person doesn't try to be more in your life, because you can tell if they call up and say, "Hi, Rose, you want to go out on Tuesday night?" And you say, "Well, I can't. I actually have plans." And then they say, "Well, what about Wednesday, or what about after?" Or they don't say anything at all, are they going to act like, okay, no big deal? It's like, you don't sit there and wait. It's like you have to create yourself, become love by doing what you love, so that you can attract love to you, because you can't train your person yourself. The illusion is that you can, by telling them something, by manipulating them, and that's not going to work. What makes it change is when they actually see, I'm not going to stick around. Like, listen, if you're going to give me breadcrumbs, but over here I'm getting a 5 course meal, I'm obviously going to go where the 5 course meal is. That's just a no brainer. I don't need to have a conversation about this. It's what I'm showing you is I love myself. And if you don't come in with the same type of energy, you're not. And this is what Spirit is saying, is like, when you're living your life, you would see, because that person would come and look for you. That person would do more for you. They would show you. The issue is that you never see it. So there's a sense of, I never see it. I need to see it. So you don't really believe that you can are going to see it. That's what Spirit is saying. Like, it's saying you need to do, again, be busy spending time where the love is being served. And that is what needs to be continued. And so, like I said, I feel like they will give you a little bit more. But for how fast you want to go, I don't feel like this person's really going to give you what you deserve, because you're in a more evolved place. If you're giving yourself love by doing what you love, then again, after a while, you're going to see the deficit. And I feel like that's what you're seeing. You're like, I see a deficit. So unless you're willing to communicate, and which again, I feel like that's also difficult for you, and you also feel like you shouldn't have to. It's like, and so remember, when you really truly care about someone, it's like we have to surrender our ego and say, I'm going to tell you what my needs are. Either you're going to like be open to them, or you're not. I feel like partially is this person just doesn't know what to do. So again, it's still going to trigger you, because you're like, oh, well, I had that wound to begin with. So you're coming in, I'm actually looking for it. And you keep putting the table where I'm going to stub my toe. So it's my 18th time stubbing my toe, and I'm fucking mad because it's a trigger. I never see you do it. So you're taking it personally, where I feel like there needs to be conversation along with you doing it, and then again, and then no nagging, and then to see this person to actually come in to redeem themselves because they're a little bit nervous to do so. And partially when I tap into you, Rose, I feel like you're like, I don't want to do all that. I feel like it should be easier. And I feel like it, like in a perfect world, it is easier. But it's again, when you're dealing with people that have spiritual blocks, it's not easier because and you're attracting somebody into your life that's awakening your wounds for that particular reason because spirit's saying, well, that's where like you're not letting the love into your life. That those are the things that are actually blocking you instead of really just being able to communicate and then be in your life because this person does have feelings for you. It's not like they don't. It's just if you want them, you want the love to look a certain way, it's like it's not going to look that way. And that is what you need to wrap your head around. And that's hard for us, especially if we're like, you know what? I really need someone to do it. Yeah, I understand. Is that the shadow aspects, me not letting I feel like it's again that yeah, those are the aspects, shadow aspects of I need for it to look a certain way. I need for that, like you need to have it control, like where really it's love isn't that way. It's that unconditional love is I love you even though you awaken every one of my wounds, but it's like I can't help but to love you. It's like I can't control this. It always brings me back to a place of surrender. I can't stay mad. I want to stay mad. You deserve for me to stay mad, but I just can't stay mad. And that's we know it, but we resist it. So you know where there's a shadow because again, you wouldn't be fighting with yourself. So really, you have to say, well, why the fuck am I even attracting this person into my life? Because spirit uses relationships to help you create awareness of the things that you need healing in. Right. And again, he does it through unconditional love, bringing you a person that you are crazy about, someone that you, again, can't stay angry with, but you want to stay angry with because they trigger you. And so that's why I'm saying partially it is you not letting yourself it in, and partially it's not you also not doing enough for yourself or hadn't. Now you have you are going to a place where love is served, but for a long time you weren't. You were expecting that person and still trying to find yourself. And so that's why I'm saying it's like it's not yes or no, and it's like no one is everybody has shadows. It's everyone has blocks. Yeah, I feel like that's the guy that's been in and out of my life. Nothing ever got off the ground. Well, that's why it said, and in this relationship, because it never got off the ground, there's a sense of I really need to see certain things because I don't want to waste my time again. And that's why the spirit's saying, that's again, this person also has blocks, and your approach is gonna need to be different because that's the survival mechanism. You're going into this relationship. All right, I need to say certain things because there's half the things on my list weren't crossed off. So we're gonna sit down and we're gonna make sure that they're crossed off before, and that's very overstimulating for the person because they're like, wait a minute. Maybe I won't be good enough. Maybe you're not gonna like me. Maybe you're not gonna, and it's like, well, just come on, like, just man up a woman up, like whatever it is. I mean, for you, it's man up, but it's like, but that's what it is. It's like, and it's very overstimulating, and it's like, and that fear comes through, and God says, no, no, we want to turn fear into fire. It was like, because again, fear will never get anything good when we come from a place of fear. It's like that person's then like, it goes in and they're like, you're judging me, you're demanding. And meanwhile, you're like, I'm not doing anything except for fill out the dotted line here. Like, but I'm not doing anything except for what you should be doing anyway. So, and I'm actually resentful that I actually have to make you fucking do it. So then it becomes this whole thing where it ruins the relationship, and that's because of what someone else has done. And that's why spirit's saying, you want to manipulate this person, don't say anything, have a love affair with yourself. Nothing will make a person surrender their ego than when they see that you don't need them in their life. That you don't need them in your life. Sorry, my phone was going off. Sorry, my phone was going off. And I have the ear pod in my ear, so it was trying to answer it. I was like, no. Anyway, so, you know, so you have to have a love affair with yourself, because the universe also conspires to bring you what you need. I understand this person is not going to want it. No one wants to surrender their ego. No one wants to be vulnerable. No one wants to be hurt. No one wants that. And yes, we're going to talk about that too. Because without having your soul's path, you essentially can't train your person. And the reason why is because a job isn't going to do it. A job, I got to go off to work every day and make money. No, that's not. We have to have another passion for life. You have to have that, and that's what you need to give to yourself first. That's your connection to God. That's your connection to other people in the world. That's your connection to everything. And it's because you give and receive of love. Your job is to become a vibration of love, an expression of love by doing what you love. And when you do this, a lot of times that's how you get a person to surrender their ego, because you're not manipulating, but you're cutting your energy off, because your mind can't be at two places at one time. So without that soul's purpose, and your money has no energy except for the energy that you give it. So not investing in anything, it means that you will always give too much, because you're an empath and you feel, and you're like, well, I'm right there and I want to treat people the way I want to be treated. But then it ensures that you're not going to get enough. So I feel like something within the healing arts, like getting into holistic health coaching, I feel like you need to do that for yourself. I feel like you've always been drawn to it. There's a reason why. You're a highly sensitive person yourself. You wouldn't be drawn to my channel. I know that for a fact. You're very good with animals. I feel like you have a flair for anything creative, like anything from cooking to interior design. But you have to invest in yourself. And that's an unfoldment process. I also feel like you have trauma that needs to be integrated. And that is, again, feelings of not good enough. And that's not because there wasn't love. It's, again, I feel like people had anxiety that raised you. So the holistic route would be yours, because it's first about reconditioning yourself. Right. Right. And that's what Spirit is saying. Well, it's about stepping into it. Spirit saying confidence. Understand this is evolution. You know, you got to become yourself. It takes a mustard seed. God makes that multiply. It's a spiritual walk. I know, but that's why I'm saying it starts with then doing it. Like what I'm saying is you have to be able to monetize it by creating classes on Udemy, and also classes online, like by offering material, by becoming a public speaker on it, like, again, be an influence on it. Why would I want to hire you, Rose? Why would I want to hire you? You'd have to tell me, well, I overcame my anxiety. I lost a lot of weight. I help a lot of people. It's, again, you have to share your knowledge. So you have to step into it. Part of how the universe brings you everything that you need is that you're trying to become yourself, which means that you're starting in a place of not knowing anything. We start in a place of faith, and that's why it says be like childlike. Children just pretend in the beginning. So it's about you becoming yourself. So you might say, well, I don't feel confident enough. Then Spirit will say, well, take a few courses online, refresher courses. Watch and see how they do it. On Udemy, they actually teach you how to do an outline. Very simple. It's, again, mastery comes in doing. This is where the grounding needs to come in play. This is what you're lacking. So this is why you have a hard time attracting love because you're like, I feel like this is affecting me. This is what's making me feel broken. And God says, you're not broken. It's again, it's like you're not, it's, you haven't put enough energy into it. It's not just about becoming certified, it's about becoming a public speaker about it. That might mean to go into Toastmasters and learning how to speak about it and getting comfortable in it. It might mean going online and saying, hey, how can I share my information? Oh, look, maybe I'll have a podcast. Maybe I'll have a vlog. Maybe I'll just share on Facebook and Instagram. Again, and do live videos. Become it. Be like childlike. You have to become it. Become it. You will again attract your tribe like everybody else does. Understand you're not in charge of who comes to you. Spirit says, I will bring you the people and the situations and the experiences that need to have you. And so it's about watching other people, learning from other people, from looking at outlines, from practicing, and not judging your process. And this is hard. So this day for you should really look like, I need to train my nervous system because I'm overly sensitive and I have anxiety because I'm worried about what things are going to look like instead of just being there. Right. That's why I'm saying you need to recondition that, because that's you were raised by someone that was hard on you. So now you're the one that's repeating that. So you need to recondition. And what that is your nervous system. You get anxiety, but it's not working out. It's not going to work. And Spirit says, be in the moment, be in the now. So you might do some breath work, do some meditation. I like the Silva Ultra method that gets you right into the ESP mind. That's how you connect to the higher self, the God part of self. So you're never really alone. Do yoga. That's a walking meditation that makes you, when you're interactive in life and you get triggered, that you again will automatically breathe and react, and not react, and react from the right state of mind. Most people tend to get triggered and react from their trauma. And so again, when we have lived in an environment that was traumatic, so partially is the reconditioning of the nervous system by doing breath work and yoga. And again, that would make you a better healer. So don't complain. And understand there's wars going on outside. There's many people that need your service, and you already have a lot of knowledge. So don't act like, oh, well, this is crap. It's not crap, because it's like you're already more than halfway there in becoming yourself. You don't need to pay millions of dollars and create a Facebook page. That could be your website. Some people use Instagram, but become it. Be consistent, be consistent, be consistent. It's about sharing who you are. It's, again, you want someone to meet you from that perception, that people are looking up to you, people are asking you questions, people are, again, that you're important, that you have other places to invest your time that are going to fulfill you. When you fill your cup up, it automatically forces every single person that's in your life to either contribute to your life, or they're not going to be in your life, because they're going to see, well, she doesn't really have time for me. And no, why would you if they're not going to be in your life? And so it's about reconditioning the automatic behavior of, I should automatically know it. I should automatically, that's an unfoldment process to becoming yourself. And the reason why that is because God makes a way where there is no way. That's just for you, because otherwise someone would steal it. Someone would come in and say, no, that's mine. So Spirit says they can't do that, because it's an actual unfoldment process that came to you intuitively. And that was through how much love you put into yourself. See, you want someone to come in and give you love, but you're not giving yourself the love. Right, and that's what Spirit is saying, but that's not a mistake. You're still looking at it like, oh, well, that's a mistake and it's still affecting me. But Spirit says, become yourself. You know how many people are suffering from trauma, between wars going on, between Like everybody that's divided, there's people that are just trying to get by day to day, with their anxiety. Look how you could help them. Focus on those things. Focus on, I know exactly what trauma looks like. I know exactly what trauma feels like. I was there, I lived it, I experienced it. I'm still not 100% healed, but no one is. We wouldn't be here in the physical plane. But you're doing your part, because then God conspires. And God is just the universe, which is unconditional love. We just wouldn't know what that was. So, again, conspires to bring you everything that you need to help you evolve into the highest state of consciousness, which is unconditional love. It's how you're looking at your story. It's how, and I understand those, it's being sheltered as a child. It's when you were told that you weren't loved. Pretty much. It's like if your parents weren't there. So there's a real sense of, I don't really believe that it can have it. God says only it can change your mind and your heart. And that's by bringing you everything that you need, but you need to step into who you are and become who you are with the fierceness that you have, with the depth of love that you know that you have, with all the emotion that you have, because you're, again, a very strong empath like me, where you can, again, change the world. And God says, but it's, again, you need to heal yourself. It's a path that makes you a better healer. Who better would know what that feels like to be abandoned and then have to overcome the obstacles of feeling I can't financially support myself because of what the world told me. And God says, don't let the world tell you who you are. You need to become yourself. Don't let your outside thoughts live from your heart, live from your gut. Then you can tap into, it'll make sense too. But you need to embody, again, what you love. And then, like I said, you will attract people to you. And then you'll be able to inspire other people through your story and be able to see yourself different. Otherwise, that story of being sheltered as a child in your youth will play out through your life as feelings of abandonment, victimization, betrayal, all these lower root chakra imbalances. So again, when you're healing the root chakra, it's like there was no connection to mother or father. Well, the earth is considered father, but Mother Earth really, and God up in heaven is father, right? So it's the support works through you, because Father up in heaven works through you through gut intuition, inner knowing. And when you're doing what you love, you become a magnet, again, of what's supposed to come into your life. So it's not that you're not trying, you're going out, you're utilizing whatever is available to you to create yourself. It usually feels like very broken structures, things that are limited, in spirit will say they are broken. That's why you have to be like childlike and see it for what you want it to be and utilize this, whatever it is. And then when one door closes, another door opens. When, again, you've mastered that, something else will come. That you're not really moving you, the universe is moving you. And so there's a sense of a lack of faith. And so what spirit is saying, this is why you have to do yoga and breath work, because you were conditioned to believe that, again, you're not loved, that you didn't have enough, that you didn't. So without the whole, body mind connection, reintegration, you'll always get triggered. You'll always come from that wound. And it's what we resist persists, it says in the Bible. So you have to actually, like I said, recondition your body, mind, and really that will heal your spirit. But you're then transmuting all that negative energy through the act of teaching, educating, becoming it. And that's why I said to you, when you asked me what your soul's path is, I told you what it is. And you're like, well, I did that, but I don't know how to monetize it. Well, it's, again, those Your past has nothing to do with how you've manifested. It's the fact that that trauma has kept you in a place of looking for love, looking for fulfillment outside of you, where the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. So you got to put more energy into the whole creation process. And no one feels comfortable. It should scare you. It should feel like this is awkward, this is scary. Those are all natural feelings. We unfortunately have to walk through the fire. That's the symbolization of when people walk on the fire coals and they're like, I was hot. And God says, again, that's like walking through the fire, breathing through the uncomfortableness is the symbolization of that. So we all have to do that. And so you have to also create the support, I believe. Listen, when you're creating in the holistic field, you need to have friends and allies that know your work, and that's through being interactive in what you love to do. Then other people will come to you. Then you meet your tribe. That's really important, especially if the root chakra was imbalanced, because you need that emotional support. And the emotional support can't be one person, can't be a relationship. Because imagine you're going to pull in a person into your life. They're going to like you, be attracted to you, and get into your life. And then they're going to be like, okay, you don't really have much for life. So that means you're looking for me to fill your life. And then your fear is, well, I'm afraid that they're not going to stay. And really, that's your higher self knowing that they're not going to stay, because no one should be your happiness. You should be your own happiness. And when you're becoming yourself, you're attracting your tribe. And again, opportunities that are in alignment with that you're passionate about, because your soul's path is all about connecting you to your passion for life. That's why they say in the Bible, Jesus died for your passion for life, and that you need to be like childlike in order to get it. You're not like childlike. You're like worried and more or less still holding on to that energy from the past. So again, in order to transmute that negative energy, and we know that from alchemy that we just can't get rid of negative energy, that we have to again become that vibration of unconditional love. And you will do it, and you would be a very powerful healer and very successful. The hardest part for you is to be consistent and to be grounded, to work through that anxiety. I've already been fine filling my life with friends and activities. I'm not asking him for anything, just little. Well, the thing is, it's like that's the thing. It's like you shouldn't have to ask. That's the whole thing. They already know what they should be doing. Okay, what person knows what they should do? Down, especially if you're given as much as you give. So that's not the issue. The issue is that this person's like, you've already shown me I don't need to do it, Rose. I don't have to do it. It's like, yeah, you complain, but then like you're here the next day and everything is fine. So come on, I'm just a creature of habit. I love you. This is what it looks like. I'm just comfortable. Why do I got to be uncomfortable? And it's because you needed to come in and train that person right away. And that's not through this. It's through just being like, I'm not getting what I need. So I'm not going to have a big conversation about it, because I believe that you are a very smart person and actually know what you should do. But I'm going to put that energy into myself. And that means less for you. And that forces them to do what they should do. Because if a person, again, it really loves you, believe me, they're going to step it up. It's just they don't have to. And you've unconsciously rather, showed them that they haven't had to do it. So it's again, then you're taking it like this. But the problem is, Rose, is that that's a reoccurring karmic theme within your life. So what I'm saying is that would happen again unless you made that person not do it. Well, it's again, like now, if you just are not available, it's going to look like you're purposely not available. Like, fuck you, I'm not available. The whole point is when you're in a relationship and the first sign that a person does. So what I would do now that I was in your situation, I would just be more interactive in things that are made right. Like we don't want to make it really obvious. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's like, that's what we want to do. It's like, oh, yeah, motherfucker, you think you're going to do that? Well, I'm going to do this. We don't want to do that because then the relationship becomes toxic. So what you want to do is you just want to like slowly detach where, you're in, let's just say every Tuesday you go to the drum circle, on Wednesday there's square dancing, on Friday there's all different things, and you're like, you know what, I get a lot more fun. I have a lot more fun, to be honest with you, going salsa dancing. Juan's there. He always likes to dance. I don't care that he's gay. He's hot, and I like he wears those tight pants. And we go out for drinks. We have a good time. I have a better time. So you're not like purposely doing anything. What you're showing this person is like, it's like you don't bring enough. So you have to come in with something of value, and that's the thing with it. Otherwise, it's like, I'm not purposely doing anything, but I'm entitled to live a happy life. I love myself, which is really important for you. Again, that would be a spiritual theme because, again, of what happened to you in childhood. So you would have to do it. And what you're saying is, it's like, why am I going to deal with you breadcrumbs when I'm getting a 5-course meal over here? It's like, I have a good time over here. It's like they'd be embarrassed if they saw, again, you live in that type of life. Believe me, they would not be coming in with breadcrumbs, because they would say, this person will tell me to go shit in my hat and stick it over my ears. It's like, I'm not going to come in with a shit offer. But if I think that I can get away with it because I don't really think that you have the life, well, then I'm going to try and do that and try and get what I want, because people are that way. They say, well, I got hurt in past relationship and this happened to me. And they don't realize that they're focusing on the relationship not working because, again, their past relationship didn't work. So let's set everything up so that this relationship doesn't work, because that's where the focus is. Instead of on your passion, where you're not looking at the relationship, what you are looking at is where you're going, what you're doing within your life, how you're filling up your own cup through your soul's purpose, through your soul's path, becoming a magnet for other things that love you. And then out of the corner of your eye, you can see whether this person's doing what they should be doing. And if they're not, it just organically is, I just don't have time for you. Why? It's like you weren't here, you're not a friend, you don't show me anything. And so clearly it's like, I'm not going to do it. It's just logical sense. But they're seeing it happen as it's happening, and that gives them an opportunity to be like, no, I don't want you to like leave. I really do care. Well, then do you contribute to my life? And conversation that needs to happen. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. You're going to be like, this is never going to happen. And Spirit says it can happen. It's that you're unconsciously not making it happen because you want it to happen. You've never had it happen. That's the wound. That's saying, well, I don't know what that feels like, but I do know what it feels like not to have it. And then focusing on not having it because you're afraid that it won't happen. So that's why Spirit says your soul's path, get into that. You have to fight passion with passion. You can't come in with mediocre energy being like, I'm in love with this person, but they're being a motherfucker and I need to like, train them. I need for them to change. No, they're not going to change. It's like, again, you need to have yourself a good old time and be interactive in other things and let them see that you get attention from a lot of different sources. They have to kind of fight for your attention, fight for their spot. And that's not being manipulative. That's being like, you want me to be in your life. You want me to, I know what you want me to do for you, but do you know what I want you to do for me? No, no one looks at that part. And then if you don't set the boundary, then you can't turn around and say, oh, they didn't do it. Why didn't they do it? I was so good. I was so good. Doesn't matter. Spirit's saying, but you was so good because you wanted them to be good to you. Look at what propelled you to do it. It's like you did it instead of doing it for yourself. So the whole is how much you gave to somebody else. So you must do it for yourself. Then you change the entire dynamic of the relationship, because now that person is like, well, I invested time. Meanwhile, you're like, you invested time. You didn't do fucking shit. but you were here. But I thought about you. I was actually here. I've been investing a lot of time. It's like then all of a sudden they put time in because they're like, wait a minute, I thought that this was a sure thing. In my mind, we were already together. I just didn't need to do anything. It's like what you're showing them is like, I don't need to. I don't need to be around this. So you better move your ass and do something. And you believe it. Then they like you. They move their ass. You've never seen them move so fast because they know they'll be replaced. And you're not saying that. Your actions, your vibe, the way that you are, and they know it because everybody knows how you deserve to be treated because everybody knows how they want to be treated. So to say, well, I don't know, well, this person's broken or this person, then it's again, then if you're going to stay connected to that brokenness, then you're just as broken. And that's what spirit is saying. So that's why it's really more about you now becoming yourself, giving yourself the love so that you can attract that foundation, which is the support. Because someone coming into your life, part of training a person is, oh, I have friends, I have other places that emotionally I don't need it from you. And that's actually very relieving for the person that you're connected to because I don't feel like I need to do it. A lot of times people get into relationships and they're like, I like the person, but I feel like I'm the person that has to be the entertainment committee. I'm the person that keeps it going. I'm the person, and no one wants that responsibility. It should automatically be. And if both people are doing it, and guess what? If you're doing it, the person that comes into your life, they're going to watch and they're most likely going to follow suit. What they admire about you is the fact that you're doing it, that you have your own life. So it heals everything. Because remember, it's the second chakra, which is relationship, but it's passion. It's also the manifestation center because women don't just birth babies, but again, it's our creative center. So being like creating yourself is a creative process, and it's about giving yourself enough love and not expecting anyone else to bring that in. And once you're there, you don't even have to worry about worrying whether somebody's going to do or not because they automatically know that they have to do it because they're looking at your life and they're like, well, the person like is having the time of their life. I can't come in below. All right. Any other questions? Does anyone else have any questions? If not, I'm going to wind this down. I hope you resonated. Say a good word, give it good positive feedback because once this live goes off, every single comment goes away. It's like it vanishes into the blue. And I want people to watch the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you, Diane, for being on, and thank you, Forever Love. Thank you, Rose. I want to see good things happen for you. You're going to be a strong healer. Watch out, world. Rose has gifts. Rose has gifts. The child that survives thrives. Remember that. And I'll see you all soon. Don't forget to put good comments, happy comments. Trying to grow the channel. And if anyone needs shadow healing, definitely check out my shadow healing coaching program. You can find everything in the description box. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.